this is a place where I talk about what I've been knitting and sewing each month. And the first thing I've got to show you is something I'm wearing. It's my sweater. So I'm going to put my cup of tea down and I'll stand up so you can see my deep moss pot sweater, which I finished this month. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. It's a pattern that I've knit before, so I knew the fit was going to be great, but I love this colour. This is the Fiberco Law in Stable, and it's a beautiful biscuit oatmeal shade that is just beautiful. It's such a classic sweater, I think, in this shade, and I love how the texture pops, and it has some lovely little details like the twisted rib on the cuffs and the hem. And yeah, I'm just so pleased with this sweater. It's a Carrie Helene Rain pattern for the Fiberco, and it was really well written. I haven't had to make any modifications to the construction or anything like that. It's just been a brilliant project to work on, and as I work through the body and the sleeves, it's particularly been super mindless, but even the textured area was quite easy to pick up once I got into the rhythm. So I'd highly recommend you checking out this pattern. I'll leave all the information below in the show notes. If you want to click the link below, it will have all the patterns, fabrics, yarn, anything that I mentioned today will all be in the show notes, and I always put those over on my blog. But if you want them to your email, I send out an email to anybody that's interested in these videos who signs up to the mailing list. They get a special email the moment a video goes live with all the information that I put in the show notes straight to their email. So if that's something you're interested in, you can sign up below to that. But I'll get on and show you some more knitting because I know that's what you're here to see. So I've got a pair of socks that I finished. This is the Feathering the Nest pattern by Danielle George of Little Bobbins, and I used the Wool Barn yarn. It's their luxury sock, and this is the Strawberries and Cream colourway, which is a lovely soft pink, and I love this textured stitch. It's a really nice pattern to work on that has a little bit of detail to make it interesting, but it's very easy to pick up the pattern, and I didn't need to sort of refer to it once I'd got into the rhythm of how the stitches. I could just look at my work and see what I needed to do next, which I love. And I know that everyone's always really interested in these sock blockers, so I'll put a link to those in the show notes as well, because I know they are particularly lovely, and a lot of you have asked about those when I've shown these before. So those are the socks, and I actually have another pair that I cast on as soon as I finish those in one of my Spring Bees sock sacks. I'm just knitting a pair of vanilla socks in this lovely pale blue shade, and I'm basically wanted to try out this yarn, so I've got that in one of my Spring Bee DPN cozies that I love. And I just wanted to see how this knit up. It's Cascade Heritage, which is a yarn that I haven't used before, and it's really nice. On the 2mm needles I'm getting a lovely fabric. It's got a slight williness to it. It's a 25% nylon, 75% superwash merino, and as I say, I hadn't used it before, so I wasn't sure how it would knit up. And I bought a lot of skeins of this yarn for another video that I made where I was showing all the different bag sizes I have in my shop and how much yarn fits in each of them. So I wanted all the skeins of yarn for the different bag sizes to be consistent, so I bought a lot of this yarn. So I asked actually on my last video for sock pattern recommendations, and I got so many great recommendations. There were lots of new to me designers and patterns that I've bookmarked, so once I've finished doing my vanilla pair, I've got so many to choose from. So thank you to everybody who left a comment and gave me a recommendation. I've got some really lovely cabled socks and lace socks and colourwork socks. There's like all kinds of socks, and I obviously have a lot of yarn now, so we're going to have a whole year of socks, I think, and you'll be seeing a lot more of those from me over the next few weeks. So that's all my socks. No more socks this week, but I have got another Spring Bees bag which has got a lovely project. I'm knitting a Jaclyn C Slack pattern called Cena, and this is in the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, and it actually has a V-neck, so I've just got to the point where I've started working in the round. It joins at that V-neck point. It has a lovely sort of single rib detail along the back and on each of the raglins. It has this detail as well, and it will also have a rib detail at the front is sort of like a triangle of ribbing as well. So I'm really enjoying the yarn. It's called Merlot Heather, the colourway, and they describe it as a raisin shade, and I can kind of see that. It's like a very warm brown with flecks of sort of dark red. It's a lovely shade. I was inspired by Rachel Knits Things on Instagram. She was a test knitter for Jaclyn and she used this yarn for her test, and I loved how hers turned out, so I really wanted to do the same. And when I ordered the yarn for the Dog Star sweater I knitted for my nephew, I knew I wanted to do that sweater, so I ordered that yarn a few months ago. So although it's not a very spring summer appropriate project, it's something that I've been waiting to cast on for quite a while, so I'm happy to have that on the needles. But talking about spring summer, I have been thinking about what I want to knit this season, and I've been putting together my mood board, which I've talked about doing mood boards before. It's something that I really love. It's just so fun for me to have a daydream and think about what I want to work on over the next few months. So I love putting together mood boards, and one of the things I wanted to do was a sweater called Han by Julie Hoover, and I got this beautiful yarn from West Yorkshire Spinners, and this is a lace weight. I think it's 875 yards for 100 grams, and it's 80% Falkland wool and 20% mulberry silk, and it's gorgeous. It's a very sort of very pale blue shade. It's almost like an off-white that leans to a blue. I'll show you a better picture because I've only got a little tiny one in that top corner of the hand sweater, but this is what it looks like. Are you going to be able to see that without it being too reflective? I hope you can pick up, it's got some lovely details. The cuffs and the hem are really deep, and the actual fabric of the sweater is in, I think it's called a grass stitch, so it has a slight texture, almost like a stripe to the fabric, which is beautiful, and I think it will be a really lovely lightweight knit in this yarn. I actually found this yarn at a new to me yarn shop, so I was googling for this yarn. I was looking for alternatives to the yarn in the pattern. I think the original yarn used is a couple of Shibui yarns are held double to create the fabric, but I think I can get gauge with this yarn. So I was on the hunt for this, and I was googling and found a shop called Beautiful Knitters, which is in London. I think they are based in Pimlico. And I'm really looking forward to a time when things relax a little bit more here and I feel safe enough to go back into town, and I'll definitely be taking a trip into London and visiting the store in person. I'm glad that I was able to get these online, but it will be lovely to go and visit the store because they had some pictures and the store looked beautiful and they've got some lovely brands there, so I'll be sure to check that out soon. Okay, going back to my mood board, so that's what I've done next. So I've been working on some projects, and you'll see I've got a few of these like white pairs of shorts. So I did a new pair of bellbird shorts, which is a common stitch pattern that I've sewn before. It's got a great pocket. I love this, just very simple slash pocket, and it's got elasticated waist, and I've done these in a really nice cool crisp linen that's going to be great for the summer months. So that's my sewing project. I'm sure I've talked about this on the channel before, but yeah, it's a really simple pattern that comes together. I haven't adjusted the length or made any changes to the pattern at all. I've just sewn a straight medium size. They have changed the sizing, so the original pattern I had was like small, medium, large, and they've changed it, so now I think it's a size 6 up to a 20, so I'm not sure what size I'd be in the new pattern, but these ones I just cut out, made no modifications even to the length for me, and I thought they came together really well. So the other thing I've got one more sewing bit, and I was really inspired to do these kind of like linen trousers that have a sort of tapered leg to the ankle, elasticated waist, again split pocket, and this is what I found the Arden pants, which is a Helen's Closet pattern, and it has that like very simple slip pocket again, elasticated waist, and you can see I haven't sewn up the back because this is just my muslin. It's a toile or a test garment just to check the fit. So when you're making a toile, you just don't do any of the finishing. I haven't done top stitching on the pocket, for example, haven't sort of fixed this. It's just to check the fit. So you do a really quick basic sew, and its main purpose is just to check the fit. So all you need is a garment that you can try on, and it is the same seam allowance that's in the pattern. So I put these together this week, and the only change I've made is to the length. So I've taken about 4 inches off the length. But apart from that, I haven't made any changes, and Helen's patterns are always really well written. I've used her patterns before, and I love that she sprinkles in some little tips or tricks that she's found along the way to maybe make the sewing process more streamlined or easier, or something that you might not know as a beginner. So one of the things that she tells you to do is to go ahead and press your hem before you sew up the trouser legs, which is a great idea, because although you unfold them when you actually sew the seams, it just means that it's so easy when you do need to press in the round for those like smaller circumferences around the ankle. You've already got that crease there, so it's really easy to do your hems. So that was a great tip that I learnt from her pattern. So I highly recommend, if you're into sewing, that you check out Helen's Closet patterns. And I'm pretty sure that's everything that I was going to chat to you about today. If you're interested in this kind of thing and doing mood boards and planning, I've put together a blog post where I talk about my process and how I decide what to make each month and what goes on my mood board and how I come up with all that. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll put a link to the blog post in the show notes as well. So that's everything I was going to chat to you about. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up and like and subscribe to the video. It's great when you hit the thumbs up. Not only does it tell YouTube that you want to see more of these videos, that you like them, but it also tells them what you enjoy. So you'll find that after you do that, you'll get other recommendations of similar videos and similar creators, and I love that. I find that really helpful. I'm always hitting the thumbs up, and then YouTube have given me some great recommendations. So that's a little tip for why people was asking you to like, because it tells YouTube what you like and then they show you more of that. So that might be something you want to do. So yeah, that's everything. We've got a long weekend here, so I've got Monday off. We've got bank holiday, so I'm sure I'll be finding some time to make, and I hope you do too. If you're working on something this weekend, I'd love it if you told me in the comments what you're working on. It's always really interesting to see the patterns that you've got on the needles, because I think a lot of you have a similar style to me and similar taste when it comes to patterns, because I'm always adding them to my bookmarks whenever I see your comments. I always love what you're working on as well, so I'd be interested to know what you're working on when you're watching too. So you have a great week, and I'll see you in a few weeks with some new projects, and hopefully my fabric will have arrived for my trousers and I'll get those sewn up to show you next time. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye.